Now, should football clubs have points deducted if their fans display racism? 0207 862 2222. Give us a call. The boss of FIFA, Gianni Infantino, wants teams to automatically forfeit a game if their fans are being racist. Former footballer Ian Wright has suggested docking points after Coventry player Casey Palmer was subjected to monkey chants during his side's 2-1 win over Sheffield Wednesday at the weekend. Also, AC Milan players walked off the pitch after their goalkeeper, Mike Maignan, was racially abused at a game against Udinese on Saturday. The referee suspended the match for a short period as well. So it was really ugly on both those games. Clubs currently face fines and stadium bans if fans misbehave. Should the governing bodies go a step further? The one thing that really hurts the fans is if you get points deducted, Narinder.
Yeah, should have happened a long time ago. I mean, monkey chants. Like, if you actually think about that, it's 2024, and these footballers are having to hear monkey chants in this day. It's absolutely disgusting. And actually, I'm sick of the gimmicks. This has been going on for as long as I can remember. Kick out racism. No more racism in football. We won't have it. What are you actually doing? They're doing nothing. Nothing is hurting them. And where you hurt them is when you hurt the football club.
Or you just say, look, if your fans shout racist abuse, you're going to be chalked down as having lost the game 3-0.
Something like that, or deducting points.
So the other team... Can you see any problem with that, Mike?
Yeah, I can see big problems. See, Infantino is head of world football with FIFA, and he comes out with this bland expression, we should deduct points and all that, because he won't get down to the nitty-gritty of the problem. Now, I'll tell you how involved I am with racism in football. I helped start Kick It Out in 1993 with Lord Ousley.
Right.
OK, I went to the first press launch and we set it all up and all that kind of thing. But you can't, in this day and age of stadiums full of 70,000 people, you can't penalise every fan in that stadium.
But you can, and you must.
No.
Because you set this club on Kick Out racism. What did it achieve?
No.
It achieves nothing. It's a gimmick.
No, it's not a gimmick.
And you know what? This is a crisis in football.
Yeah.
The racism in football is a crisis in football. And I'm fed up with it.
What you've got to do is you've got to use modern-day technology to punish the people who are committing this heinous crime. You can do it.
But they do it already. They're supposed to do it, and they don't.
No, you can do it now. We've got more cameras in this country already than anywhere in the world. Put them inside football stadiums. The ticketing process, as Jeremy knows, as I know, season ticket holders at clubs, means they know the name of every fan in every seat inside every stadium.
It's not going to do anything, and it doesn't do anything.
It is.
You are speaking like a privileged guy that's never had to receive any kind of abuse. You've never received racism. You've never suffered from systemic racial abuse. Football players, black football players. No, you haven't.
I've been mocked as a ginger-haired person for years.
You can't actually even compare that. Black footballers are going to work. It is the club's responsibility that their mental health, that their well-being and their safety is assured.
Yeah. Let me bring in, Mike mentioned Kick It Out. Yeah. Sanjay Bhandari is the chairman of Kick It Out, and that is ongoing, the campaign to end discrimination in sports. You probably heard Narinder say it's just a gimmick, Sanjay.
Yeah, I heard both of those, the comments. And look, the reality is that both Mike and Narinder are a little bit right, as is often the way in life, right? So, and it is kind of ironic that this is coming from Gianni Infantino, the president of FIFA. Right? I think our view is it is time to try points deductions, to have that in the armoury and the threat of points deductions, because it could be a game changer, because we've seen it in other areas of football where it is already having an effect and being a game changer. That doesn't mean that in every incident you'll have a points deduction, but you need to have the threat of it there. It's ironic that this is coming from Infantino, because he's so often so wrong on so many things, and so he's had plenty of opportunities to be right on racism and to do something, and he's always consistently failed to do it. But maybe this proves that even a stock clock is right at least twice a day.
Can I ask you a question, Sanjay? Help me understand this. Let's say we did points deduction. Let's say you lose 3 points if there's a proved racist moment by a fan. So the club would definitely appeal, right? So because the club would say, wait, the fan was misunderstood, or they were having some sort of fit, or it wasn't one of our fans. That would be the classic thing. Someone goes and sits in the Arsenal area and shouts racist abuse to get Arsenal docked, but they're a Southampton fan. And there are so many things that could go wrong with it. And the other thing I do wonder is, once it's known that a particular fan has cost their club 3 points, Sanjay, their life might be in danger as well, actually.
So
But that's not an argument against points deductions. That's an argument in favour of having a rational sanctions framework, to have appropriate mitigation of sentences, to have an ability to either reduce or to suspend or to do other things with sentences. So actually, I think you're agreeing with me, because what you're saying is we need to have some kind of appropriate, effective sanctions that work, but we need to make them realistic. And the reality here is, and it goes back to what Narinder was saying, the fundamental principle is that at elite level, the players are employees and the stadium is their place of work. They have the basic human right to have the dignity at work, to work in an environment free from discrimination. This wouldn't happen in the theatre. If someone were doing this in the theatre, we wouldn't think twice. But we kind of tolerate it in football.
But Sanjay,
and you're right.
why
Look,
is it? Sanjay, why is it tolerant? Why has it taken? I mean, this has been years. I'm 51 years old. I remember this from back in the day when I was 10. Racism in football. Why has nothing happened? Why does racism in football? Why is it on the increase?
It used to be worse than it is now. We can say,
I don't know.
I remember seeing film of the England players coming on at Wembley, and Michael, and my goodness, that there were these guerrilla noises from about 20,000 people.
I remember John Barnes. I remember John Barnes actually kicking a banana peel away off the pitch that had been thrown at him by a fan. Sanjay, can I just say this? I'm an Evertonian. Our new stadium's being built, 53,000. Do you know one of the critical things they're going to do is going to be fan security? They're going to have cameras all over the place, face recognition for fans, right? They will know where every fan is sitting. And if a dozen fans inside that new stadium are delivering racial abuse to the players, it will be easier to isolate them and punish them.
But what about that, Sanjay?
And ban them for life.
Just let the club get those fans out.
They're not alternatives, right? You can be doing both. You can be punishing the individual fans, and if the club is seen to not be doing enough to provide a safe work environment for its workers, which is what the employees are, which is what the players are, then they should potentially face sanctions. And also, ultimately, this is being left, shamefully, this is being left to the players. What should be happening is chairs and CEOs and managers of football clubs should be saying to their players, look, if an incident happens, you should be walking off because you're our employees and we're going to protect you, and you're not going to go back on until that's a safe environment for you in which to work. And just coming back to Narinder's point, look, the reality is that two things can be true at the same time. Football is much better than it was 40, 50 years ago when I first started watching football. So thankfully, by and large, we don't have mass racist chanting here in the same way that we do in Italy and Spain. And I can think of the first 20 years I went going watching football home and away. It was every single match. We don't have that. But we still have incidents. And so what my experience is, what's actually happening is you never completely eliminate it. We suppress it down to a level, and then it comes back up again and mutates when the external conditions are right. And the external conditions are popularity, polarisation, and the rise of social media and hate. This is feeding, what we've seen over the last 5 years, is this huge increase in discrimination of all forms. And we've seen that in our reporting stats. So although no room for racism is a laudable aim, the reality is what we try to do in football is they try to suppress it and move it into the spare room from the living room. But at the moment, it's all over the house.
I'm just going to pause you. Sanjay, thank you very much indeed. Sanjay Bhandari from Kick It Out, because we've just got so many callers. Terry in Kent, should teams lose points if there is, let's say, one fan chants something racist?
No. I reckon what they should do is they should have one or two games played behind closed doors, because it's the fans causing the problem. If you've got a person having a go at a footballer, the fans around him should be the ones saying, "Oh look, stop this! It shouldn't do it. If you don't, then you call someone over to get hold of him, to clean him out."
Yeah, Terry, thank you. Jack in South Wales, what do you think?
I think, Chelsea has spent £1 billion this year, haven't they? And imagine Paul down the road with a can in his hand and just shouted monkey or something, and then they get dropped points. It's not a good business module. It's not going to work.
That's the reason it would work, Jack. Because
no,
some bloke with a can in his hand...
Chelsea has spent £1 billion, and then some nutter from down the road has said something racist. They're going to get drop points, and then they're going to go down. So the money that they've spent is irrelevant.
Well, that's great. Good. That's where you need to hit them.
That's why it works.
No, that's not the point, though, is it?
It is the point, because Jack, we have zero tolerance to racism, and we will not accept it on the terraces. So where do you get them? You hit the club where it hurts. Money.
And the club would then stop the guy with the tinny coming in.
I think you haven't got a clue what you're on about. You need to watch
So accept racism, is that what you're saying?
No. I don't think it's racism, but it's always going to happen. I don't think you should stop football altogether.
OK, Jack, thank you. Fred is
What
in
about-
North Wales. Hi, Fred.
Hello.
What do you think? Because this might stop it if you say, look, if you get any incident of racist chanting at your ground, you lose points.
I think there's a flaw in the problem. Simple reason. Say Manchester United are playing Liverpool, and Liverpool supporters go to Manchester and create hell, because what do you do then?
Well, you mean
ID?
if a Liverpool supporter sits in the Manchester United end, deliberately makes monkey chants in order to lose Manchester United points, that's what you're saying?
Well, it wouldn't be at the Manchester end. The simple reason is them tickets will always be taken. It's the other end, the visitors' end.
You know,
but then you'll know it's a Liverpool fan.
But you know who every fan is inside a football stadium these days. You know, every fan is where he is. And what about the responsibility of the other fans around the racist, right? They should be
But they're
reporting
not
them.
doing anything,
They should be
But they're not doing
Well, in that
anything.
case,
Maybe
maybe
they're scared.
It's a society problem as much as anything
But
else.
that is
if
the
you
case.
see racism being committed and it's a bloke 2 rows in front of you, I would immediately
But it's
draw
not
the
their
attention of the steward.
Would you?
Of
Yeah.
course I would.
Yeah.
I'd wave the
It's
steward
not your
over and say, that guy's...
I must say,
uttering
I've been
racist
gone to
chants.
Chelsea for 30 years. I saw it once about 15 years ago, and a guy immediately reprimanded the man next to him, who was a young idiot.
Yeah.
Thanks, Fred. Anne in Stevenage, hi.
Yes, good morning. Good morning, Jeremy.
Yeah, hello, what do you want to say, Anne?
I'm a massive Chelsea supporter.
Oh.
And I think the club should not suffer. The cretin supporters should be given a lifetime ban.
So you said
Never be allowed to go near another
and
football
you're
stadium
Chelsea,
ever.
Anne? Did you say?
So I'm a massive fan of Chelsea.
Because we had you'll remember this a couple of years ago. There was Raheem Sterling was playing for Man City, and he came to take a corner, and this bloke leant over and seemed to be shouting something vicious and vile. I don't know whether he was or not. I don't know, but I think he was banned for life. Now, you don't think the club should lose points for that?
No, it's not the club's fault. They've got idiot
But it is the club's. It may not be the club's fault,
it's
but
not the club's fault.
it's
You know,
their
it's not the club's fault. There's
responsibility,
idiot
and
supporters.
it is the club's responsibility that their players are kept safe.
I just want to tell you something. I go into Sainsbury's now. I'm a disabled person. I'm in a wheelchair. And people come up to me and say that I'm in their way. I should do my shopping at a more convenient time. It's no one's business when I do my shopping.
No, it isn't. I would deliberately slow down and make sure you do your shopping only at the
I
busiest
do my
times.
shopping when I want to go shopping.
Absolutely.
Because I'm in a wheelchair. That's not my
But
fault.
what's the relevance of that, if I may ask, to the discussion?
People think that people in wheelchairs shouldn't go shopping.
I think what I'm trying to say is that it's not the supermarket.
Oh, I see. So it's not Sainsbury's.
Because
I see.
If their
I see.
customers are being racist.
No, I've got it.
Well, actually,
Okay.
you should report that to the
But if they got...
No, I did. The manager of the store is an absolute superstar.
All right, Anne.
I mean,
Thank you.
Narinder's hit on the individuality of the person concerned. You've just supported the supermarket against some...
I said it's their responsibility.
Well, now, hang on.
against some
What if the
shopper.
person who's insulted Anne in Sainsbury's has a Sainsbury's card, like one of those loyalty
then
cards?
they'll find out who that person is and they'll be able to ban them.
Ban
and
for
say,
life.
You're not shopping here again.
Yeah, well,
This is
exactly.
what should be done.
Maybe it is.
I don't agree. I think, you all sound like you're going round in circles. We've had this conversation.
Well, Anne says you can't blame the club. Anne says you... I've got... Someone just told me the name of the guy. So it was correct about this guy leaning over. Colin Wing was his name. So he was banned for life. So, but the club weren't punished. The club punished him.
The club needs to be punished. End of.
OK, all right. Robin Sheffield, punish the club. What do you think?
Absolutely.
Right. Are you... Because Sheffield Wednesday were involved the other night, weren't they? That's the thing.
Yeah, and I used to support Sheffield Wednesday. I've stopped supporting them in very recently. I wasn't happy about the way that they dealt with Darren Moore, which could be related to racism. But I've experienced racism at Sheffield Wednesday over many years. I was a season ticket holder for many years. I was in 1990 when Wednesday beat Man U in the Milk Cup final. Before the game, Carlton Palmer gets serenaded because he's banned from playing. And around 10, 15 minutes into the game, Paul Ince brings a Wednesday player down. And a massive section of the Sheffield Wednesday fans called Paul Ince a black bee.
No, that's terrible.
I've experienced that.
Yeah, well, you'd hope it had gone, but then we saw this incident at the weekend.
Yeah, it's right. It's not just Sheffield Wednesday. It's an endemic problem in the game. I can't understand your jest. Is it Mike?
Mike Parry, yeah.
How would I, as an individual, challenge thousands of fans chanting that, whether 1990 or 2024? You can't take your life into it. It's a club responsibility.
It's usually one.
Yeah. I was going to say, Rob, if it is thousands, you should close that ground down. I'm with you there. If you say there are thousands of people inside Hillsborough, one of the most famous stadiums in this country, who are racist, I would close the club down. Never mind the ground. But I'm talking, generally speaking, about 2 or 3 ignoramus who've had a drink and then want to get racist. They've got to be banned for life, and we can do it these days.
I actually don't see the difference between thousands or 2 or 3. I think it's as bad as.
I do.
And you seem to be dismissing
It seems to me like
because
Rob
it's only 1 or 2, it's OK. It's actually not OK.
Rob is saying it's a culture at Sheffield Wednesday, and I'm saying it's generally down to ignorant individuals.
OK, all right. Well, I don't know about Sheffield Wednesday. They may be feeling very resentful about this coverage, but then again, they've got to step up and do something. Sue is in Oldham. Hi, Sue.
Hi.
So it's really focusing this on whether you punish the club for the fan.
You just get that fan that isn't really a fan, are they? You know, I mean, why are you going to punish the club, punish the fans who've paid lots and lots of money to go? They want the points. They don't want points taken off their team. What's the good of that? What's the point of going to matches?
The good of that is because you hit the club where therefore they will be made to do something, because the clubs really aren't doing anything. They say they're doing something to tackle racism, but they're not. And it's not fair. Why should black footballers have to suffer racism? Because you're going to say, well, it's only 1 or 2. So what? That's still someone.
OK, Sue, thank you. Let's find out what's coming up.